up, guys? Welcome back to English Happy Hour. Kind of want to do a serious video today. I don't like to be too serious, but I feel like this is something that I want to address and talk about because as a language learner myself, I'm going through some of these challenges and obstacles as well. So, and by the way, I didn't realize my top looked like I'm going to the disco, but I think it's just the glitter. Okay, so the problem is we can be taking English lessons or have been learning English for a long time, but then when it comes to speaking, there's some sort of mental block, and either we're in front of a native person and we just go completely blank, which often happens to me, or we're just like even afraid to jump into a conversation with a native. So I think first we have to ask ourselves, like, what are we really afraid of? For me, I think it's a couple of things. I think one, obviously, we don't want to make a fool of ourselves, right? Saying something stupid or blah, blah, blah talking, and the other person's just like having a blank look on their face, like not knowing what we're talking about, right? I think the second thing is being judged, because it's like I'm actually an intelligent person in my own language. Like I can speak intelligently, but then, when I'm speaking this other language, people are gonna think like I'm like stupid or dumb or like talking like a child. So I think it's just like the point of being judged, and then of course there's fear of like making mistakes, just saying the wrong thing. So I think those are the three things for me that prevents me from like wanting to speak to a native person, or preventing me from speaking. And this creates anxiety, which is bad, because once you have anxiety, once that kicks in, then it makes you more nervous, makes you more empty in the head, right? And it makes you make more mistakes, which in turn, again, going back to those 3 points, so it's kind of like a bad cycle. So I think first, we have to identify exactly what we're fearful of. Are you fearful of the things that I've just talked about, or maybe there's something else for you? So first, we have to identify what it is. So after we identify what our fear are or is, maybe you just have one fear, I think there's a couple of things we can do. First, of course, is practice, right? Practice. A lot of my students, I think one of their biggest concern is that they're always learning from the book, like textbook learning. So when they get out there in the real life, it's like a completely different world. So I think practice with a native or practice with a tutor, either face-to-face or, well, nowadays there's distance online learning. I think that is really, really helpful, but we have to practice, like get our brain and get our mouth used to just like opening up and talking, even if we're saying the wrong things. The second thing we can do is we have to tell ourselves to stop overthink, right? Because when we want to say something, our mind, like our brain, is like searching for all of the information that we've like learned, like we've gathered in the past, like, going through pages, scanning, like, what type of grammar should I use? What should I say? What goes with what? So all of that is like, and then we can't find anything like on the spot because we're also like, pushed by time. So I think we just have to stop thinking, right? Whatever comes out of your mouth comes out of your mouth. And I think this is where, a good tutor or a good English teacher is important, is that they allow you to make those mistakes and then they correct you. They actually correct you. And I think it's this actual process of being in a vulnerable situation and then being corrected is the way we'll remember our mistake and not do it the next time. But who knows, maybe we'll do it again, but it's okay. Like maybe we'll do it, I don't know, 5, 6 more times, but eventually it'll stick. I think the third thing we can do is ask questions. And this, I see it as a common problem amongst students because when they get an English teacher or a tutor, they're very passive in the sense, okay, now the teacher is going to ask me questions and all I'm responsible for is answering them. So they're used to receiving, getting asked, but not being actively participating in a conversation or asking questions. That's one thing about asking questions. The second thing about asking questions is that sometimes we're afraid to ask questions because, oh, that sounds like a stupid question. So we got to remember there are no stupid questions, right? And it's by asking questions is by having those doubts and having that curiosity, which will help us learn and remember. So I think the third one I have to say is for us to ask questions. The fourth thing is to slow down. I think when we're in that particular moment where there's anxiety, there's fear, there's a lot of nervousness, and we kind of just like subconsciously want to get this over with and try to speak as fast as we can. And then that turns into either mumbling blah, 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 or rumbling, rah, right? So I think we need to, and also I think we're afraid of silences, right? If we need to pause and think about it, we're kind of uncomfortable with that because we're not conditioned for a human conversation to have such long pauses. But we have to get over that. We have to slow down and say, okay, like the other person's got to bear with me. Okay, I got to think about this. It's got to process a little bit and then it can come out. So slow down, slow yourself down. Repeat. And when I say repeat, there's a couple of things that I mean. So first, listening to an audio and then repeating it, again, it trains our mouth, our tongue, our brain to get used to listening to ourselves in that language, like with that sound, and also training everything to work in a way it's supposed to pronounce that language, to speak in that language. So repeating is very important. And then also if you have an English tutor or a teacher, something that he or she says, always repeat after them. It also trains our accent as well. And then finally, I think the most important thing is just to smile. I think we can get away with a lot with just a smile, right? So whatever roller coaster you're feeling inside, whatever mistakes you're making, just like be positive with a smile. And I'm sure like most people that you're talking to can understand, and can cut you some slack. So those are my suggestions. This is also something I tell myself for us to speak a little bit more confidently, with less anxiety, and just have the courage to speak. So hopefully this will help you, and let's get speaking. What's the worst that can happen, right? Not much, really. So, like during your normal days, of course, read a lot, study a lot, try to acquire new vocabulary. But when it comes to speaking, you just gotta let your mind go, okay? And we gotta let go of the fear, the anxiety, those mental blocks. I know it's easier said than done, but I think we need to start conditioning ourselves with this. So again, hopefully this helps. Thanks again for watching my channel, and I will see you all next time. Let's speak. Okay, bye.